Hi there, everybody. My name is Mairead Smilik, and I'm at Bookstore 1 today, and I am interviewing Bryn Durgan, and she is the Director of Programming. Thank you so much for talking with me today.
Thanks for chatting.
Well, the reason why we're here is because I read this book right here, and it kind of inspired me to talk with a bookstore owner in downtown Sarasota, an independent bookstore. Mainly because when I was raising our kids, I was a stay-at-home mom, and I took advantage of a lot of the programming at our local library and independent bookstores, and they had authors and events, and I started really thinking about my habits and what am I doing and who am I supporting, and I felt really bad about it because I buy books on Amazon. My husband works for Amazon, and if I continue to do that, we're not going to have all the things that my kids took advantage of. So I wanted to come out and meet with you, thank you, and just talk with you about what the bookstore does and how we can support the bookstore and all the great things that small independent bookstores do and librarians do for our community. So thank you again.
Yeah, thank you.
So tell me a little bit about the bookstore and what kind of programming you do for the community.
Right.
Okay.
We do an awful lot. And it really runs the gamut, all different kinds of events. So later today, we're actually hosting a local author, Lucy Tobias, and she writes a series of guidebooks and gardening books all about South Florida.
Love that.
Yes, and
tonight you have something too.
Yes,
yeah.
That's tonight.
Okay.
And then tomorrow we have it's the third installment of a poetry workshop for teens.
Love that.
Right?
Yeah.
And then next week we have it's called Tertulia Latina, and it's a literary salon that happens all in Spanish.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and that's an evening event. And then, next month we've got going on the live radio theater programming. It's Jekyll and Hyde.
Nice.
So we really, whether it's book clubs, author talks, book signings, and again, theater events, we really do it all up here.
So I'm part of 2 book clubs. Love my book clubs. What do you guys do to support book clubs? Because I want to talk more in my book clubs about coming here. Yeah.
Right. I'm so glad that you asked.
Yeah.
One thing that we love for book clubs that aren't happening inside of this bookstore to do, I think it's so easy to, when you're a part of a book club, to see, this book is $3 or $4 less on Amazon. I'll just order from Amazon.
Yep.
But if you order from
guilty,
yeah, right.
More for convenience, but
of course,
but
and I get it. But the thing is, it's true as far as convenience goes. But the actual experience of it, if you are a part of a book club, you love books. That's why you're a part of the book club.
Yep.
You love talking about books. You love other people that love books.
Yep.
So we love when a book club, they can sometimes even give us a heads up of what they're reading. We order enough copies so that they come and pick them up, and we get to know the people in that book club. And then when it's their turn to make a selection, I know that's sometimes dreaded and there's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
We're able to help them to pick the book that the others in their book club might like best. So, for example, we have one book club where they let us know the favorite book of everyone who's a member, and we recommend a series of monthly selections. And there's no pressure; you don't have to choose those.
But I love that. Yeah.
But yeah, and again, getting to know the readers in the community, and then often a lot of those readers are writers, and so when we have our local author book fair and someone wants to be a part of it, we already know them from their book club and from being a good literary citizen.
It was funny because when I was waiting to meet with you the first time, I walked around the bookstore and I looked at all the books and how some of the people that work here recommended books. And I thought to myself, based on what they recommended, I could probably go to them and say, okay, I like what you're reading because, and then get and talk about it.
And then our staff picks are consistently our best sellers.
Yeah. They're great picks. I mean, I walked down, I was like, really fantastic.
And they're books that you wouldn't hear about if you were to only go through Good Morning America or Reese's Book Club. There are more wonderful books than just those books. Those books are great, but there's so much.
There's so much. Yeah, absolutely. In fact, this one was a book club book, and I grew up reading Judy Bloom, and I didn't even know that Judy Bloom had a bookstore in the Keys, and I was like, darn it, I was in the Keys. Like, I probably would have been like a stalker because I loved her so much.
Right.
But, you learn so much from reading books.
And from coming into bookstores.
Yeah.
So had you come in here and you mentioned, I love the Keys or anything about, we would ask about books and books, we talk about it.
Yeah.
It really does connect you in a deeper way to the community.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like after reading this book that bookstore employees and librarians are like teachers. They change people's lives. You know, people come in and ask for things that they may be afraid to ask about at home, but they need a resource. So it really is a wonderful, wonderful place to come.
Absolutely. And it is like musicians. They talk about now how musicians make money from touring, right?
Yeah.
Like they have to go on tour. They don't just make the album and put it out. It's like that with books, but the publishers aren't always able to pay for the authors to go on tour. So these events that they're having here, where we're selling their book and hand selling an author's book, it really does make a difference to the authors. No matter how successful of an author you might think they are, it really means something for bookstores to be hand selling their books.
Yeah, and it's probably really impactful to the author too, to hear from people about, you know, how they felt when they read this book. I mean, you know, there are books that make you feel a certain way, and it's just, sometimes I won't even go see the movie because I don't want them to change the feeling that I had from the book, you know. Okay, so when a book is not in stock, what can you guys do to help with that?
Sure. We can order almost, if it's still in print, we can order almost anything, and it can get to us in between 3 and 5 days.
Fantastic.
So I know it's not the 24 hours that some people are used to, but 3 to 5 days
It's not that bad at all, no. So talking about the big box companies, you know, like an Audible, how, like if you want to try and support small independent bookstores, what's an alternative to that?
There is a company called Libro FM, and that is exactly what you should use. So it's essentially the indie bookseller of the audio world. So you go into Libro, download the app, go to the website, and then you select the bookstore you'd like to support. So in this case, you would select Bookstore 1, and then you get a number of credits. It's usually $14.99 is what you start with.
Okay.
And the credits don't expire, the books don't expire. You have them on your virtual shelf, just like any other, just like Audible.
Fantastic. And then what else can you buy at a bookstore besides books? I mean, people come in here, you know, I remember buying other things when my kids were little, so I want to make sure that people know it's not just books.
Oh yeah, it's not just books.
No.
A significant portion of our sales are non-book items actually.
Yeah.
It really is, I imagine it as, when we're doing the buying for the bookstore, as it's somebody's birthday and what do you need?
Yeah.
What would you look at?
Yeah.
So we have journals, we have planners, calendars, we have felt flowers, a massive selection of greeting cards.
Love it.
We
cute
have
tote bags.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Tote bags, stickers.
Yeah.
We have wrapping paper, of course, magnets, puppets that are a huge big.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of great things about your puppets.
Yes, lots of puzzles, and puzzles that it's unique to bookstores. So we have like puzzles that are the cover of Vogue, puzzles that are covers from the New Yorker.
Oh, I got to buy that for my daughter.
I know.
Yeah. She loves puzzles. Really,
And we're always getting something new. So there's one customer, for example, who actually lives in this building, and she's come down, she sees the puzzles in the window, and she was looking for, it's how we got Vogue puzzles. She saw our New Yorker, asked if we could carry what we did, and we sell them now.
Oh, that's awesome.
So that is also the thing. If there's something that we don't have that you want, whether it's a book or a non-book item, tissue paper, for example, like little things that
you want to serve the community.
Absolutely. So just let us know what you want, and chances are we'll be able to get it in for you.
Awesome. So what are you reading right now?
Yes, right now I'm reading The Friend by Sigrid Nunez.
Okay.
It won the National Book Award a few years back.
Okay.
And I get chills thinking about it. It's so good. To sum it up, I won't get too into it to spoil anything, but it's a woman whose friend has died, and she inherits a massive Great Dane in New York City, and her apartment does not allow dogs.
Oh.
It's sort of the premise.
Love it.
And she's a writer, the protagonist is a writer, and the person who passed away is also a writer. So it's very literary. Also, if you love dogs or animals, it's good. And this is a good spoiler alert, nothing bad happens to the dog. So
that's
one of those things that
that's
I
great.
think is important to know
that's
before
great.
you get into it.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
What are you reading?
I'm reading James, and we talked a little bit about this. When I was growing up, I didn't read Huck Finn because that was kind of like a boy book, and I read traditionally girls' books, and now it's inspiring me to want to read Huck Finn, and it is a sad book, and it is you learn a great deal about it, but I highly recommend it. I finished it probably about a week and a half ago, and I closed the book, and I closed it wanting more, which to me is like I was like, wait, where's the next chapter? Like, what happens to him?
Yeah,
so
it's good. It gives me actual chills.
Yeah, it's really, really good. So tell me, how do people support the bookstore? What's a good idea on how to support the bookstore?
Well, aside from coming in, getting that, pre-ordering the latest book that you know you're going to want to read too, that you can't wait to read. We love it when people, yourself included, have come in and they're a part of a book club, and they've noticed, what I mentioned earlier, of a reluctancy about that $3 extra that it might cost to buy something from an independent bookstore as opposed to, a big box store. To purchase, it's a great holiday gift, to purchase gift cards, a series of gift cards for each person in your book club that can make up the difference between a few of those books. So even if it's a $10 gift card for the members of your book club and for Bookstore One, that really, it means so much to us. We love that, and it really does. You can see it turn the tides.
Yeah, and it's a feel-good gift.
Absolutely. Yeah. We see those people come back. They do it because they have the gift card that time, but then it feels so good, and who doesn't enjoy being inside of a bookstore? Yeah. So they come back, and it starts a new habit.
It's a warm, welcoming atmosphere. So yeah, I can see why people, once they come in, want to come back.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So tell us about your hours and where you're located, so people can come see you.
Thanks. We're at 117 South Pineapple Avenue.
Okay.
It's
near the Mark.
Yes, exactly. Yep. The Mark. It's right through the breezeway, we always say.
Yep.
And our hours, we're actually open longer than we used to be, so we have expanded our hours. So now, Monday through Friday, we are open from 9 a.m. till 7 p.m.
Okay.
And then Saturday, we're open from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Great.
Sunday from 9 a.m. until 2 p.m.
Thank you again, and you need to check out this bookstore. So thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next one, and come check them out.